I bet you, my house, car and firstborn child, that you've heard that age-old phrase from business mentors more times than you've had hot dinners. You just need to get your clients world-class results to improve your retention. When you hear them tell their own success story of the hustle and grind that got them to where they are, they tell you that they built their business getting world-class results. Yet, as soon as you start working with them, they tell you you're stuck in delivery. You need to focus more on the business. You're not a coach, you're an entrepreneur. Your clients don't need all of those extras that you want to include to make their programme better. And then you're left wondering, how on earth am I supposed to get world-class results and actually keep these people for longer if A, I'm spending most of my time marketing and acquiring leads, and B, if no one tells me how to do that? Well, today is your lucky day, my friend. You're about to get both. So for the answer to A, you can head to the link in my description when you've finished this video to check out Mark's take on this. And for the answer to B, I'm going to tell you the exact method that will help you to get world-class results for your clients and build the kind of programme that they never want to leave. These are the systems that we teach our clients to go from 10 to 15% churn to less than 1% and double their average retention and client lifetime value as standard. So if that sounds good to you, keep watching. Now, you'll remember in the last video, I spoke about the hybrid coach model. I spoke about that unique blend of teaching, coaching and mentoring that's so essential for you to actually be able to keep clients in the longer term, right? And what most of you are missing is that coaching part. And your understanding of coaching up until this point will be very transactional, above the surface, when actually what keeps people, what improves your retention, what improves that lifetime value is the transformational stuff beneath the surface. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I want you to imagine coaching like a big iceberg, right? Don't worry, like you're not the Titanic, okay? But I'm going to talk you through how we understand how we separate the kind of coaching that you do in health and fitness coaching to understand that transactional and transformational coaching both have a place, right? Sometimes there can be a wee bit of a negative connotation with this word transactional, as if that's a bad thing. And coaches believe that all of their coaching work should be transformational. You get transformational results for your clients, right? But here's the thing, you need both of those for a successful health and fitness coaching journey, because the reality is people come to you, right, for the result that these things generate. Macros, a training plan, sleep and recovery, good hydration. You know, intellectually, they are the things that generate the result, right? And they are the things that will drive more people in when that is what they're looking for. Some people can come into your programme, follow the plan that you set them out for that transactional result and get the result, and that's that. They don't need any additional support. They don't come up against any barriers. You give them a plan, they execute the plan, they get a result and off they go. And you think, what a dream client to work with, right? I wish they could all be like that. And what happens is, for the vast majority of people, they come with all this beneath the surface stuff, okay? Now, remember, people come to you with the presentation of the problem and not the actual problem itself. So somebody might come to you with a problem around food, right? And you think, okay, they have an issue with overeating. I'm going to give them a good macro split that isn't too restrictive, that helps them to get the fat loss result, whatever it might be, right? They just need to follow that and they'll be signed. The thing that gets in the way of that, though, is how much of this exists beneath the surface for them, right? All of the things that you do not see when you first start to work with someone. So they might come to you with the presentation of, I have an issue with overeating. What you won't know at that stage of coaching them is, well, what's actually driving that? Is it a habitual routine-based thing? Like, are they just partial to a Friday night takeaway and a bottle of wine? Or does this go deeper into their childhood script and their behavioural conditioning around good and bad food, being punished for not finishing their dinner, being rewarded for finishing dinner, and then they can have a dessert? How deep into the iceberg does this actually go? And this is where transformational coaching is necessary, and this is where the skill of coaching is so necessary, because if you can only coach up here, what you do is you then adjust plans. Okay, I'll give you more calories, or let's focus on a higher protein goal. But ultimately, that only puts a plaster on a stab wound, because we have to be able to go beneath the surface and understand what is actually driving this behaviour. So know that in health and fitness coaching, you need to have both of these things, but you need to have the skill as coach to be able to know when we're staying above the surface and when we're going deeper. Now, there are some things in here that are not for us as coaches, okay? There are some things in here that would require work with a therapist or a counsellor for the client to overcome. So if they have things like childhood trauma, they've experienced mental illness, they have an eating disorder, that's not for us as coaches to touch. However, for the vast majority of people, the problems that they have with a consistent training routine, managing their stress, getting decent sleep, and following a nutrition plan all come from the habits, the routines, the behaviours, the beliefs and the thoughts that they have about themselves. And we can work with people to actually rewire their brain and rewire their way of thinking so that this stuff above the surface becomes a lot more accessible. So this is why if you want to work for people with longer periods of time, you need to be able to get on the scuba diving gear and go to the bottom of the iceberg with them and figure out what is going on down here that's causing this presentation up here. That's the thing that's going to get people to work with you for longer, when you can help them not only get the result up there, but help them get to the bottom and overcome the thing that's stopping the result from happening down here. Now, the issue that the vast majority of coaches that I speak to have with being able to do this is that they don't know the answer to the problems that our clients come to them with that beneath the surface stuff. So people say to me all the time, but Jen, I don't know the solution to changing their beliefs. I don't know the solution to changing how they think and changing their behaviours, right? And this is such a common thing that stops people from being able to get that actually transformational result, or getting the surface level result to be able to last in the longer term. We need something to anchor it onto. And the thing that we really need to anchor it onto is their belief system, right? So when we're trying to help people to understand a wee bit more about that beneath the surface version of themselves, one of the most impactful things that you can do is provide a safe, explorative space for the client just to understand a wee bit more about where is this coming from for me. You don't need to have the answers. You don't need to be the person who holds all of the solutions to all of your clients' problems. Actually, that's not what coaching is. We are not there to help and save and rescue. We're there to empower and help people grow. Okay, we're not there to solve every problem. We're there to hold a reflective, explorative space for them to come up with their own solutions to their own problems. And this is the key thing behind anybody who's able to get consistent world-class results, is it's not about the information that they have that they're feeding into the client. It's about the coaching space that they can hold to support the client to go through that journey of growth and development themselves, where the client understands that actually they're better off with you in this space, with you facilitating their thinking and facilitating their development, as opposed to without you trying to make the transactional stuff work on their own. Because let's be honest, right, they can do a lot of that stuff themselves. They can follow a plan intellectually. They know what they need to do, but they say to you, I know what I need to do, but I just can't seem to do it. That is where you come in. They just can't seem to do it, and figuring out the barriers that are getting in the way and helping them to change that and overcome that. That is where you are most valuable as a coach. Now, we actually have a resource called Built to Scale that helps you with some practical, tangible tools, frameworks and resources to help your clients change their beliefs. We actually have something called a beliefs builder. That is the exact process that you can take a client through to help them rewire their brain and change how they think. Normally, there is a price tag associated with this, but because you've stayed around this long and listened to me speak, I'm going to give you it for free. If you shoot me a DM on Instagram, which is linked below, and shoot me the word beliefs, I will send you over access for free, and you can get the exact process that we teach and the exact tools to our clients and to our students that help them to change their clients' belief systems and ultimately get those consistent transformational results time and time and time again. Now, if your issue in getting your clients to go beneath the surface is that they struggle to engage with you, they don't communicate with you consistently, and you think you're being ghosted, head to the next video and I'll solve that problem there.